ahead and get started here. Hello, inventors and entrepreneurs. My name is Courtney Laskowich, and I am the Managing Director of Inventors Groups of America, and welcome to Inventors Online. If you're hearing me talk, you have made it in, so congratulations. Thank you everyone for coming for this very exciting meeting today. A little bit about IGA before we go ahead and get started. IGA was founded in 2017 by Stephen Key and Andrew Krause, who are here with us today. Our goal is twofold. We want to teach individuals how to best commercialize their product ideas, as well as strengthen and support inventor groups throughout the nation. We have a directory of local and regional inventor groups on our website, and if you're located near one, we would highly encourage you to join. Just so you guys are aware, our meeting is being recorded for internal purposes. Everyone here who has made it in is a mover and a shaker. Many inventors don't have the knowledge or tools to commercialize their products, whether it's by starting their own business or licensing. So we provide inventors with resources, information, access, and support. Our website offers a place for inventors to learn and share together. We hold monthly meetings for inventor group leaders, as well as hold public educational webinar series once a month where we bring on guest speakers. Now today is IGA's Inventors Online, which is the first virtual inventors group. Our goal is to educate through leadership and guidance from leading industry experts, empower you with trustworthy resources you need to succeed, and give you the experience you have been waiting for in the product commercialization world. Now, as we get started here, please open your chat boxes on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. We'd love to hear your name and what state or country you are from. Go ahead on over right now and you can type that into the chat box while we go ahead and get started here. Just be aware, please do not disclose anything that is confidential and is not already publicly available. Now, before we get into the presentation, a brief housekeeping so you guys are all aware. Please make sure your participants in chat panel are open. Please make sure your name is the name you signed up with. It's nice to get to know the community, so go ahead and you can feel free to rename yourself now. You can change that in the participants panel, and please place your questions into the chat box. If you have a technical question, feel free to just message me directly. And finally, you can choose to be in speaker mode or in gallery mode at the top right-hand corner of your screen. We encourage you to turn on your video, but it's not necessary, but we would love to see you. We've also placed the rules in the chat box up at the top as well. So now that that is all out of the way, we have our co-founders on, Stephen Key, who is also our guest speaker, and Andrew Krause. Before we let Stephen talk, Andrew, before I introduce Stephen.
Wait, who invited him to be the guest speaker? What's going on with that?
Before we
I'm just kidding. He's great. You guys are gonna love this tonight. Go ahead, Courtney.
No, I just wanted to ask if you had anything to say or to mention about Stephen.
Yeah. Andrew's going to say, I've never seen him make a mistake once, and I've known him for 20 years. That's what Andrew's going to say.
No, I'm actually going to say something very different. Steve and I have been running our other business, InventRight, coaching, mentoring inventors for the last 20 years to license. And over that 20 years, he's been fantastic about talking about not just what's went right for him as an inventor, but the mistakes he's made, because you learn a tremendous amount from somebody else's mistakes. He's been through it. And I just want to thank him for coming on tonight and sharing some mistakes. He kind of is teasing me. He's like, there's one in there, Andrew, you haven't heard. I'm like, okay, it's going to keep it interesting for me because I've heard it all over 20 years. But so it's going to be fun. Some of you may know Stephen, some of you may not, but either way, I think these stories are going to be very informative and educational. So
awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Well, before we get into the presentation, just a little bit of background about Stephen.
Oh no.
Ooh.
This is uncomfortable. Go ahead.
Success is created from the mistakes that you make along the way. Over the years, Stephen has made a lot of mistakes. He will be opening up and pulling back the curtain on the most pivotal mistakes he has made and what he has learned from them. So we're going to get a few good takeaways. So definitely go ahead and get your notepad out and a pencil or pen and get ready. Stephen has achieved repeat success as an independent inventor. This is just a little bit of background on Stephen for those of you who don't know him, including defending his intellectual property against one of the largest toy companies in federal court. developed an innovative packaging solution that has brought to market and is protected by more than 20 patents and has received 15 industry awards, and also writes for Forbes Inc. and Entrepreneur. With much success in his career, the pitfalls were not sparse. In fact, it was a major part of his success. Mistakes move people forward. What do you do when you make a mistake? How do you move forward? We have a little presentation for you, and we can't wait to get started. So real quickly, if you guys have any Q&A, we do get a lot of questions towards the end. So if you guys have questions earlier, please go ahead and type them into the questions box, into the chat box, and we'll pick a question and unmute you, and you can go ahead and ask that question. Just once again, a reminder, please do not disclose anything that is confidential and is not already publicly available. All right, Stephen, you have the floor. You can go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Courtney, for that introduction. And I think I gave you and Andrew a list of topics I could possibly talk about. And of course, Andrew went right away to the mistakes I've made. And I was wondering why he was so happy to hear about those. But I've made plenty of mistakes. And at the time, they were upsetting, kind of. But now they're kind of funny to look back. And I think giving a little bit of time, those mistakes were really great learning tools for me, and maybe for you too. I don't think you have to make every mistake yourself. I think you can learn from others. So let me share a few of my big ones with you. What's the first slide? Because I don't know what order.
And Stephen, what are they going to save? I mean, they're going to save time and money. Those are two important things by learning from a few mistakes from you rather than making them themselves.
Well, not only time and money, but lost opportunity. Right? Yeah. Because I made some mistakes that I should have probably gone after. Mm-hmm. And for some reason I hesitated. And looking back now, I would never have hesitated. But that just gives, it takes time to realize some of those things that are happening to us. We have a fork in the road. We can either go to the right or to the left. And sometimes I went to the wrong direction. So we'll talk about those. But what's the first slide?
Before we start the first slide, I want to welcome everybody from all over the U.S. And it looks like we have somebody from South Africa, Philippines, Australia, Quebec, all over the place. So I just want to welcome everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and throw up the slide and let Stephen do his thing. Here we go. Are these truly the biggest mistakes you've made, Stephen? The biggest ones? Or are they just?
Well, maybe that's for another presentation, but these are the big ones that are looking back.
Truly biggest mistakes.
They're pretty major.
Okay.
All right. Spinformation, my rotating label. This was my big idea, and it finally came across my desk, and I went for it. I applied for all these patents. I figured out the technology. We had licensed it to a few of the major players, not only here in the United States, but also around the world. Nescafe coffee was in Japan. The rotating label was everywhere. And I didn't do enough, right? I worked so hard to get the licensing deal. I worked so hard to work on production. But once it happened and the royalties were coming in, and they were big checks coming in, so big, I took 6 months off. I just took my kids out of school and told my wife I never want to see a bill. And we pretty much did whatever we wanted to do. And it was a fantastic trip. There's no regrets on that at all. But looking back, I probably should have put my pedal to the metal. That was not the time to relax. Now, it has really nothing to do with the trip, but maybe that kind of got me thinking about it. I licensed that technology to a market leader CCL label. In fact, they're the largest in the world. and we were selling a lot of product, but why did I pull back? Why did I relax? I shouldn't have. I should have got more involved, right? I should have gone out and stayed involved with the customers. I should have asked questions. I should have probably helped with the marketing a little bit, the trade shows, maybe even got more involved in the production of the product. And I didn't feel comfortable with that aspect of it. It could have been bigger, but because of my hesitation, because of I didn't realize that some of these big ideas come around once or twice if you're lucky, that's not the time to relax. That's the time to really focus, ask good questions, surround yourself with maybe some other mentors to help me to take it to another level. So looking back, I think it did okay. It should have probably have done 10 times the size, at least that. So when you get that opportunity, so here's my lesson I want to share with everybody. When you get that opportunity with your idea that you licensed, don't stop. Help your licensee sell more product. Bring on some people that maybe have a little bit more experience and ask for their advice. Surround yourself with people that have gone further than you have. And don't think twice about it. Educate, keep on educating yourself, because I think everybody knows I'm a big believer in education. And for some reason, either I didn't know who to reach out to, or I thought they would just take care of itself. But I should have, at that point, tried harder. And the reason why this means a lot to me now, I just listened to another speaker we had on, Rob Angel with Pictionary, and he stayed involved. That was a lesson I learned from his presentation that I did not do. He stayed involved. He was a tough negotiator. He did not stop. Right. So the lesson there, once you license an idea, don't stop. Help, and learn as much as you can. Ask those questions. Surround yourself with really smart people, and see if you can take it to the moon. That's what I learned with this.
Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the things you can do to help, such as always being on top of, with that next version of the product, so that your company that you license to can stay on top, things like that?
Well, this was a little bit different. The income it was producing was in the millions, right? And that was a life changer for me too. I mean, the royalty checks were huge. I didn't think it was going to end. Everything ends. But if you stay involved, there's line extensions, there's other opportunities. I should have got involved in selling equipment. There's all this stuff I could have done, but I wasn't, it was not familiar with me. I wasn't comfortable, and I should have found some people to make me more comfortable with it, right? I needed people that had done it before to say, look, Steve, let me show you how to do this. Right. And so sometimes we're hesitant. So for this particular project, and this could be for any project you have, some things you're out of your comfort zone. And the only way to get comfortable in that situation is find some people that have been in that situation that can help you through that uncertain, that anxiety of, hey, I've never done this before. So it's not just one thing, Andrew. It was just a lot of things. Your licensee today, more than ever, needs for you to stay involved, to tell your story, to help sell product. And today, it's much different than when I was working on this, because now we have a lot of different social media channels, right? I mean, you have Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, and you could be a cheerleader for your product and have other people around helping you sell more product by talking about it, by building a community on LinkedIn. And that's what we're trying to do with some of the other projects over at InventRight.
Stephen, before we move forward, we've got a couple of questions in relation to what this product is. Can you just briefly explain what Spin Label is?
Yeah, it's actually very simple, but It wasn't that simple. And I can do a demo to show. How about a demo? I show everybody.
Go for
I'll
it.
do that.
Yeah,
All
if
right.
you do a demo though, we should get out of share mode, and then you should can you highlight him so he's big, Courtney?
Yes, I just did that.
Okay.
Label. This is water, and
Click on speaker view if he's not big for you guys, the upper right hand corner.
yeah. In fact, if you look over here, you'll see all the different things that would spin. This is called a spin label technology. And labels basically don't have enough information. So what I did was that I put a top label over a bottom label. 2 labels, not 1, 2. And the top label has a little window. So I could spin it. And it would give me more information. Okay, so it was technically it's an expanded content label that would deliver more information for drug facts, for promotions, for recipes. I remember going down to Walmart and I looked at all the containers and thought, holy cow, look at all those containers that could use more label space. It was mind-boggling. We ended up selling hundreds of millions of labels. That sounds like a lot, but compared to how large the industry, I barely scratched the surface. So yeah, I should have kept on. Okay.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right. All right, let's go to another big mistake. Next slide.
It looks like we might have lost Andrew, but that's okay. Hang on 1 second and I'll bring up your presentation.
All right.
I know his Wi-Fi wasn't fantastic, so give me 1 second. Well, the next one we're talking about is with Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Go ahead and start talking about it while I bring it up.
Yes, I'll start this.